Hey, what's up, guys? Tony here, and here's another MLB 11 Road to the Show with Scott McLean. And I figured I'd show you guys this. This is interleague, and I figured, you know what, let's do some interleague stuff. So if you look on paper, Twins are 38, 33. We're 36, 33. Away, they're 18, 15. Home, we're 15 and 20. We're not doing that well. And you can take a look at the actual stats, hitting and pitching wise. And on paper, they're a better team. And that's going to kind of be the theme of this commentary, because it is playoff time here in the real world, and I think the last commentary I did, I predicted a World Series, Yankees and Phillies World Series. However, that didn't happen, and that hasn't happened yet. As we know, the Yankees lost to the Tigers, the Phillies lost to the Cardinals. So my prediction is already wrong. The two teams I thought were going to go to the series aren't even there. They're at home now. They're not even in the playoffs. And so like I said, that's sort of a theme to this. This, on paper, looks like the Twins should win, and we'll see what happens. But I thought when I was watching the game, I was loading up, I'm like, oh man, these guys are just going to crush us. And of course, they come out to a 1-0 lead. But let's talk about the playoffs. I know it's been a couple of weeks, so I can't believe, this is just me going back on this, I can't believe that the Braves and the Red Sox failed to make it into the postseason. I think respectively, the Braves had an 8.5 run lead, or an 8.5 game lead, and the Red Sox had a 9 game lead on both their wild card competitors, and they lost it. They lost huge leads in September. And one thing that I heard the analysts talk about is, like, you can't lose huge leads like that and expect to limp in the playoffs. Teams that that want it more, they're going to be more aggressive, are going to be the ones that make it in the playoffs. And of course, the Rays, who got eliminated in the ALDS, and the Cardinals, who are now in the NLCS, won the wild card. So anyways, guys, some people don't like baseball. Some people think that baseball's slow and boring. And there was look at that, he hung a curveball. Can't do that. Some people only watch baseball for the playoffs. I think it's like basketball. Nobody really cares about the regular season. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not much of a basketball fan in the first place. But some people that I know talk about, they really don't care about the regular season. All they care about is the playoffs. And it's the same thing with college basketball. All they really care about is the Final Four. And yeah, I think it'd be said for any sport. Hockey, I'm still kind of confused. I don't know what the heck that guy threw, and I'm looking at him like 51 miles an hour. It wasn't a curveball. It was the nun pitch. I don't know what the hell that. It was like a knuckleball or something. A floater. Anyways, so I actually delivered to a guy, and he was watching the game, and I'm like, oh man, I started talking to him. I'm like, what do you think about this? And he's just like, oh, I don't really watch baseball. I just turned it on for the playoffs. It's like, what? How do you do that? There's so much that's involved with the playoffs. So anyways, were you guys surprised by anything in the playoffs in the postseason so far? I know I am. That's for sure. I'll be honest. I didn't know the Brewers were this good. I didn't know. I just wasn't following the Brewers in the National League Central. I just like, what is this all about? Yeah, it's just totally confusing. And the Diamondbacks, of course. I don't know. I thought they were. Well, I shouldn't say they were going to do better because they went to a 5-game series in the NLDS, but yeah, the Diamondbacks, I thought, might have been that explosive young team. It looks like the Brewers are, or more so, the explosive young team. So I don't want to rehash the playoffs, but there's a part of me that's totally stoked that the Yankees are out, and there's part of me that's kind of stoked that the Phillies are out. Both of those teams on paper are just tremendous teams. They've got stellar teams. Some of these guys, like you got the Howards and the Utleys and the oh god, I'm blanking on the center fielder's name right now, but doesn't matter. Both teams have kind of gone about making the best team they have. I don't want to say stacked. I don't want to say they stacked their teams, but they did what any baseball team wants to do. Is they want to get the best talent on their team possible. And when you've got teams that have huge budgets, like $250 million for the Yankees or something like that, and then $200 million or so for the Phillies, it's just, I don't know. I like seeing that just because of the fact that you can't buy a World Series ring. I mean, you could probably buy a World Series ring, don't get me wrong, but you can't buy a World Series victory. How about that? That's got to be earned. And this year, for those guys, it wasn't. So, who do I think is going to go to the World Series now that the Yankees and the Phillies are out? I'm thinking, my gut reaction is Tigers and Cardinals, but it could be Tigers and Brewers. I don't think the Rangers are going to beat the Tigers. And although I said the Yankees were going to be in the World Series, I made a very bold statement. They're not even in it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is what's great about October baseball. You know, some teams just collapse in the postseason, and some teams step up, and they play hard, and they win. I'll tell you, if St. Louis and the fans of St. Louis have any sort of inkling of wanting to keep Albert Pujols, they're going to have to win the World Series, or at least make it to the World Series. And I think that will be that one little piece that keeps Albert Pujols in a Cardinals uniform. Otherwise, I think he's going to go. I just don't know where he's going to go. There are probably American League teams that would want him. You know, they're probably American League. There's teams within Major League Baseball that'll want him, but I wonder if he would go to the American League. I mean, he's been a National League guy all his life, or all his career, and I don't know, maybe he'd go to the American League. Who knows? That'd be kind of interesting. What do you guys think is going to happen with Pujols? Do you think he's going to stay? I know Topher, he wants Albert Pujols to stay in St. Louis, but it's sort of up in the air. But yeah, anyways, I did want to talk about Scott McLean's postseason, because the last video I made, I hit like crap, and I had everything ranging from just, you know, what I suggested is that some players seem to just fold in the postseason. Because I had a player in MLB 10, I think it was, who wasn't all that great during the regular season. Like this Scott McLean right here, he's sort of a phenom. I don't know where this came from, but I'll take it, you know. But the Scott McLean of 2010 wasn't this good of a player, and he was sort of like an average player. And anyways, in the postseason though, he was unstoppable. I destroyed the ball in the other teams in the postseason. So I don't know. It's kind of strange. I'm having this sort of head scratching moment, like, well, what's going on? You know. Anyways, what I did look into, and you can look in this at the locker room in the main menu. You can see how your player does per team. The Reds, and this is, I'll tell you about this here first. In the new season, the Padres haven't played the Reds in the month of April. So we got a chance to play against them. And I hit like shit. What's up, Brian? I hit like shit against the Reds. And what's interesting is that I, statistically, and through my career, Scott McLean is a 292 hitter against the Reds. And so I was like, oh. I was like, that's why. I couldn't believe it. I just like, what is going on? Why was Scott McLean not hitting? And statistically, the Reds just have his number. And I think it might just be one of those things where you might just destroy some teams, and then you'll just hit like shit against other teams. And just that's the way it goes. You can't hit 400 against every single team in Major League Baseball. You're going to not hit well against at least one team. And that's the case right now. And what is interesting, though, the flip side of that is that I lick my chops whenever I'm... Oh, that was me dropping my controller. That was kind of funny. I lick my chops when I'm playing the Giants, and especially when Tim Lincecum is pitching. I think I hit like 750 off that guy with a whole shitload of home runs. I mean, I don't know what it is about Lincecum, I know I can see the ball better coming out of his hands than some other pitchers, like the submarine guy. He's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's insane how well I do against the Giants. If you've never done that, go look at the teams that you hit best against, and you know, really enjoy those games when you play against them. And then if you've got a team, like whenever I play the Reds now, I kind of have to, you know, put my try-hard pants on and be a little bit more cautious. So I think maybe I'll just kind of go and scout teams. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You could potentially scout teams that you're going to play against and see how well you do against them, and then change your batting style or change your approach change your approach to match that. If you're hitting like crap, like what I do against the Reds, I'm going to have to be. This was a great play too. I couldn't believe he threw me out. But next time I play the Reds, I'm going to have to be a lot more selective because I just can't seem to beat those guys. And that's just a part of baseball right there. So anyways, and that's another little on paper, you know. On paper, Scott McLean is a great hitter, and of course he is. But on paper, I suck against the Reds, and so I need to find a way to hit better against them, so I don't look like such a total noob, you know, when I'm playing against them. That guy's got a great slider. I got confused. I was like, oh man. But anyways, guys, I meant to tell you about my own baseball, but time is quickly running out here. I guess I'll have to save that for the next video. Basically, my season ended without much of a bang, you know, but I'll have to tell you the full story next time because we're running out of time. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Sorry it took me so long to get a video out, or MLB video that is. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to you later.